Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. How you all doing? What's up? It's another episode of the Cringe Factory, and I'll remind people about this at the end of the stream if I can remember myself. But next week, if I do the Cringe Factory, it's probably going to be just one topic and a shorter stream because I have to go to bed early next Friday evening. But now it's like a normal episode, and we got plenty of cringe to talk about. But before I go into the topics, let's my co-host introduce himself, and we'll move on to the chat, and then go over the topics for tonight. So I've got a good bit of cringe, to cover. So without further ado, Steve Kenobi, let everybody know where they can find you if you want them to find you, and all that fun stuff.
Oh, I'm snowed in, so please find me.
Yeah.
But no, I'll be on this channel, talking cringe with Mara for as long as she needs me. And on Monday, and this is I think it's going to be maybe interesting for people. On Teresa Morton's channel, Miss Morton Muses, she and I and Lady Gravemaster are gonna talk about the Wheel of Time, what that show is about, and basically Wheel of Time for Dummies.
Well, and what time is that?
Monday.
That's the day. The time. We'll figure it. I'm sure Teresa will put it in the chat because she's in the chat right now. But I'm just asking because normally I stream on Twitch Monday, so I might be able to catch it. I might not. I might have to catch the replay. I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Well, it's on Monday.
Okay.
And also, I've been promoting Teresa's Lord of the Rings stream all week. Turns out I should have paid attention because it's not happening this week. So if I told you to go to her channel on Saturday, don't go. She's not going to be there.
Well, or you could go and watch the other videos. He just.
Oh yes.
You'll just make him out to be a liar that there'll be no live stream. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go check out other videos. And like I said, I'll try to catch the money stream, and it's really difficult for me to catch the Lord of the Rings stream because like when you are streaming it, I'm like getting off of modding Lethal's full Aussie stream and then going into having like getting my own stuff done. So it's like really.
Yeah, and to be honest, it's never fun to watch two streams in a row, especially if they're long.
And the full Aussie's pretty long, so.
Yeah. No, I don't hold it against you one bit, and I'm sure Teresa doesn't either.
Oh no, but like I was thinking, but at one point, since it's coming up on Christmas, I am going to be rewatching the Lord of the Rings direct extended editions because there's we not that the theater editions are bad, but we kind of if you're like an actual hardcore Lord of the Rings fan, you don't really acknowledge them.
Yeah. I've been rereading the book, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The movies did change quite a bit because the Black Rider thing happens before the mushroom stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like I've told people that I'm in some regards I'm kind of a puritist when it comes to certain works, but at the same time, if you alter the works, but not at the detriment of like losing like the focus of like what's going on, like what's actually going on in the overall story and everything, and like staying still true to the characters.
Yeah,
I'm fine if you alter some. I mean, hell, they took out characters, so I'm like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. And it actually flows, I think, better in a way. So
it certainly flows better in the movie the way they did it, rather. But in the book, it's pretty damn perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, the Black Rider scene happens twice.
Mm-hmm.
There's one where he's just sniffing, and then you have that thing where they're hiding under that root, and he starts crawling towards them.
Oh yeah, that's creepy. Like when
that was. I wish they would have.
Yeah.
I wish they would have had that in the movie that he starts crawling towards them. But
I mean, I still take it that like he's still kind of hovering over them, so you still have that tension.
Oh yeah.
He's sniffing for them. He's sniffing for the ring, and he's like, and like you see Frodo fighting, just like it's fingers inching towards like putting the ring on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of sniffing rates, the McKay brothers are in the chat.
All right, well, let me say hello to the chat. So starting from the top, we have Mystic Red Knight. Hi, everyone. Good evening, Mara. Good evening to you, Mystic Red Knight. And I said Ms. Marmuses is in the chat, and I'm pretty sure if she's following along, well, I'll just tell her to ask her to put the time for the Monday stream in the chat. Because I'm not holding it against you, but it's time zones, basically. So you can see like what's happening on your time, but factoring like when it's going to happen in the States is another thing. Joshy64, hello everyone. Good to see you, Joshy. Joshy and I play with Santa Megatron every Tuesday on Splitgate, generally. Ho ho ho! Happy holidays, everybody. Basically, happy early Christmas to everyone in the chat, and happy Hanukkah to those who practice that as well. And everyone, no matter like where you are in the world, because it's about 3 weeks, and it'll be Christmas Eve. So. Trey Courtney says, hey, Mara and Stieg, I'm ready for the cringe. I got my whiskey ready. Well, we got a good dose coming your way, Trey. Dave Myers, good evening, Mara and Stieg. Good evening to you, Dave Myers. Much appreciated. Michael Cordova, hello, Mara and Stieg. Hello, Michael. Hope you enjoyed the show. Epstein's Ghost says, yo, Mara. Good to see you, Epstein's Ghost. Chunk the Punk, another one that I play with on Tuesdays night in Splitgate, says, hey, I can't do the voice. But I know what it is. But it's like it says, hey, you guys. So good evening to you, Chunk. Let's see. Nick. Yeah, he said, hey there, Mara and Steve. Good to see you. Hope you're well. I am doing fine. My light's not on because I have a bit of a headache. So I'm kind of keeping the bright light off of my face right now for the time being. And Sam McCabe.
She's a gremlin, and Christmas is coming up. Bright light.
Don't feed me after midnight. Just don't feed me after midnight. Even though, if you think about it, and I'm still going to include Gremlins on my Christmas movie list, because I still love watching the movie, but if you think about it, that rule does not make any sense. Because anytime after midnight is after midnight. So when do you feed them?
Yeah.
If you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, in the creepiness factor, yeah, it kind of makes sense, but...
Yeah, don't feed them after midnight, but for how long?
Yeah, so, like, if they said, from, say... sunset to sunrise, don't feed them. Okay, that's a set time, basically. So once the sun goes down, don't feed them. But after midnight, it's like, okay, well, 23 some hours after midnight is after midnight. So it's like, when do you feed them?
Gremlins would starve to death in Norway then, because in the summer it doesn't set the sun.
Yeah, so there you go. Daniel James, he says, good day, fuckers. Good day, Daniel James. Gadfly Fiction on Selvet Omnis. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. Good to see you, Gadfly. Doe Redhammer. Good evening to you. He says good night, all. But thank you if you're still in the chat. Good evening to you as well, and good night if you're not in the chat. Let's see. Making sure I say hello to everyone. Okay, so hello to everyone. All right, like I said, we have a good dose of cringe. And Trey, you're going to roll your eyes at the last topic. Well, let's put it this way: the last topic I list. It might not be the last topic we cover. So the topics are Wheel of Time, because you got idiots now still running their mouths about that show. We have Seth Rogen, because he's calling people who are criticizing his piece of shit movie, Santa Inc., white supremacists, and telling them to go fuck themselves, even though if you look in the comments, there's like not everybody in there is white. Nintendo, basically kind of committing to leveraging the talents of a diverse workforce, and by diverse I mean hiring more women to managerial positions. And then you have Leatherface, who, according to at least the Polygon article, and I also have the Entertainment Weekly article up, he's just trying to be a good person.
Yeah. I found that topic. I contributed
with Leatherface. What?
I contributed this time. I found that last topic.
Yeah, he found that. He tagged me in on Twitter. I kind of brought up the Entertainment Weekly article, and I was like, holy shit.
I take my co-piloting serious.
Yes. So, like I said, yeah, it might not necessarily be the last topic we cover, but yeah, that's the last topic I listed. And yeah, they're Netflix is making a Leatherface movie, and he's been, according to, at least just to sum up.
Seriously, it was Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix.
You know what?
Massacre. Yeah.
I saw a picture of the cast,
Mhm.
And I just said, this looks really Netflix, just
Yeah.
by the look of it.
It's Netflix.
And I did not know it was being made for Netflix. So I'm like, well, there you go.
Well, there you go. And he's Soul Assassin. And he says, "Hey, Trey, Courtney, Sam McCabe, Sam Tron. Hello, Soul Assassin." And Trey's like, "Wait, what? Wait, what?" Pretty much. Epstein's goes for $10. Thank you so much. He says, "Hey, Mara, can you explain to me how I'm a white supremacist even though I'm 20-year-old black dude according to old Rogan? Yeah, I'm biracial. I'm half Middle Eastern. I'm half Arabic. So, but I'm a white supremacist.
I'm blonde
Mhm.
and white,
You're
so
you're probably like the whitest one.
yeah. But the Nazis bombed us,
Yeah, I know.
and so kind of, yeah, they did worse to us than Africa.
Yeah, Sam McCabe is saying, "I'm a teacher. I've seen enough gremlins and assorted crotch goblins to last a lifetime." I can imagine. I can imagine. But all right. So basically, how it works if you're just joining me for the first time on the Cringe Factory is my co-host will roll a D&D die and decide which topic we cover first. So we'll say Wheel of Time is topic number 1, Seth Rogen is 2, Nintendo is 3, and Leatherface is 4. Hey, Zechariah.
Okay. 3.
3, so that would be Nintendo.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, Stieg is in white. He's white, like the Family Guy. Let me bring up the article on Bounding in the Comics because like the 3 of the topics will be on Bounding, so it makes it easy for me.
You know what? Shout out to Bounding into Comics though for covering all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they're doing good work.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, I rail against Nintendo but like it was like one of the last ones that was like you know what, like yeah, like I don't like most of the Nintendo games, and I make no point of like hiding that. But at the same time, I thought like they're at least not going the route of Microsoft and like Sony and things like that. Well, look at this. Nintendo commits to leveraging, quote, the talents of a diverse workforce, hiring more women to managerial positions. So yeah. More diversity. And a 31 Australian dollary dues, as Lethal likes to call it. Real money, as you, Lethal, Lyndon, and Rhino generally love to point out. From Daniel James. Merry Christmas, Mistress Mara. I probably should change my name back to that for at least for the time being. Hope you get lots of presents in your big old sack. I'm Welsh, so also pretty epically white, but I'm gay. Nasty. He's also tried purging you from Germany, but no, now I'm nasty. Yeah, you're a nasty, pretty much. So yeah.
He's my
go figure.
He's my favorite gay person.
Yeah, go figure. Like his demographic was targeted in Nazi Germany, but now because he doesn't toe the approved group thing, he's a nasty himself. So go figure. Mm-hmm. But anyway, let's go into this article. Yeah, Trey's like Nintendo. Nintendo can have good games. They can have good games. At some point I'm going to get Metroid Prime because that does look like a decent game from Nintendo to play. And so forth, but most of them are like they're marketed to kids and they're played by adults. I'm like, how does that work?
It's because those adults played them when they were kids.
Yeah,
because Nintendo are great at coming up with franchises basically.
Mm-hmm.
The people who play Super Mario stuff today are the people who grew up with it.
Yeah, well, I played Super Mario, at least Mario Kart, but I joke about this and. So it's like, but at the same time, it's like, it's kind of true, which like once I hit puberty, I stopped, or at least I didn't entirely stop, but I moved on to actual like games. So
yeah.
Dan Blackroy says, our money is so much more diverse than yours. We all have we have all the colored money. Yes. I've seen it, and I don't exactly like, I would say collect, but whenever I was able to travel, I tried collecting as many like foreign currencies as possible.
Do you have Norwegian coins?
I would want something like of those colorful bills that you have over in Australia. But anyway,
Do you collect coins or paper money?
Well, I had paper money at one point, but primarily coins because they're kind of easier to
No.
Or I find them here. Like here, for example, this is a $20 Mexican coin. Let me turn my light on so you can see. And I'll just turn it off. Come on, thank you. See, I found this here in the States.
Huh.
Come on, stupid coin. Well, anyway, that's a Mexican coin. This one here, I have no idea because I can't read any of it. Where that's from.
I can send you some Norwegian money if you want.
Yeah, thank you if you do appreciate it. I have a 10-cent euro piece. Where are you from?
Actually, wait. If I send you Norwegian money, you'll have my address and you'll send me cunt candles. No can do.
What's a kronar?
With an O?
Kronor.
That's Swedish shit.
Okay, well, I got a Swedish coin.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
KRO.
There's a few of them. Yeah, I have others.
Yeah, if it's an ER at the end, then it's Norwegian. If it's an OR, it's Swedish.
It's OR. Yeah, so that's Swedish. So I basically just triggered Stig, pretty much.
Toss it away. It's worthless.
So here, let me see if I can turn this light on and like just angle it so it doesn't like exacerbate my headache. All right. But anyway, yeah. So send Mara a coin. Yeah, everybody send Mara a coin from your country.
You know what?
Hey,
some of our money or other coins have holes in them. Do you know why?
I was going to say kind of like the equivalent of glory holes, but what?
No. It's back in the olden days, they used to have holes in their coins, and they'd put them on strings. Like if you had a string of money, basically.
Ah, cool.
Instead of they didn't have a purse or whatever. I don't know, but so that's like a little throwback to the olden days. So our 1 kroner coins have a hole in it.
Cool. Your coins have kangaroos, platypuses, and emus. Emu. Okay, I keep forgetting how it's supposed to be pronounced.
Emos.
Yeah, toss a coin to your Bidger, toss a coin to your Jade of Valley of Plenty. Yes. All right, so let's go into this Nintendo article.
Toss your loin to Kenobi.
There you go. In a recent update to Nintendo's corporate guidelines, done in consideration of their position as a global company, the esteemed video game developer committed itself to both leveraging the talents of a diverse workforce and increasing the proportion of women in managerial positions. So basically, if you have a hoo-ha, then that's a qualifying factor. Nintendo assured investors and employees of this commitment in a November 30th update to their corporate governance report, a regular statement which outlines the company's principles and general operating procedures aimed at addressing how the company was ensuring diversity and key personnel within the organization. Why you should have to do that, I don't like. Hire the fucking best person for the job.
Oh.
Following a standard affirmation of their non-discrimination hiring policies, which, again, hire the best person for the job. It doesn't mean that you're discriminating against a particular group. It just means you're hiring the best person. Nintendo explains that though the company does not have a specific targets for the appointment of women, foreign nationals, and mid-careers to managerial positions, they believed as a global company engaging in the entertainment business, which is characterized by increasingly diversifying customer needs and preferences, it's essential that we leverage the talents of a diverse workforce. Bloody fuck, that is wordy. Okay, these people really need to hire me. So I'm like, oh, like me too. Okay, emu. Okay. Hey, Shadow Master. Emu. Okay. Yeah, emu. Yeah. All right. So that is first off, that's wordy as hell, and these people I really need to. I'm not talking about bounding the comics. I'm talking about like the people who write this shit, whenever they're giving their updates for their company and things like that, hire me. I can like.
You know what?
I
know
know
what
how to make
happened.
that concise and to the fucking point.
They hired a yapping woman.
Yeah.
This is the result.
Hey, D. Panzek. Shadow Master, your grammar sucks. Yeah, I'm reading this going, holy fucking shit, that's wordy. I'm like, you need to make it concise. People are going to be reading that and just like zoning out. I nearly zoned out reading that shit, and I'm trying to read it and understand what's going on.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe get them to zone out so they don't pay attention to the shit they're doing.
Yeah.
Emu, okay, Dan Blackroyd. Therefore, Nintendo continued, we are committed to respecting the personality and strengths of each and every employee. You should be doing that no matter fucking what, including employees from our overseas subsidiaries, and developing an environment where employees of diverse backgrounds can maximize their potential. What does their diverse background have to fucking do with anything much? Like, at least to maximize their potential.
So, a diverse background has a different potential? Is that what they're saying?
I guess so. Like, employees of diverse backgrounds can maximize their potential. So, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, maybe you might have some certain life experiences you bring to the table, but at the same time, like, what does your background, diverse in nature, have anything to do with your potential? If your potential is, your intellect, your skills, and so forth, it has nothing to do with your background.
No, if you're making a damn Nintendo game, your skin color, gender, or sexuality doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they're just doing it for sure and don't really give a damn in reality. Yeah, basically it's for show. Yeah, like basically it's just to pat themselves on the back, virtue signal, and say like we scroll back up, it says they did not have a specific target for the appointment of women, meaning like they're putting this shit out there with no set date in mind. So basically they can kind of kick that can down the road as much as possible until they're like backed up into a corner by pandering to this demographic that's going to hold their feet to the fire on Twitter, because Twitter, is real life. And that's what they're doing. Now, will we see anything like major coming from this? Probably not. Like I said, there's no date, and it's really just for show. But at the same time, you're basically digging your own grave. You're starting to dig your own grave, and you're going the way of Microsoft and Sony. You're going to turn more people off, even if none of this shit comes to fruition. You keep saying this shit, you're going to turn more and more people off because they're saying, like, why should I support you when all I want is a good product? I don't want to be virtue signaled to.
Also, why do they need a statement about that?
Like I said, exactly. I mean, like, they're saying things that should not need a statement.
Why would someone who buys the latest Mario Kart have to know that they also hired women at Nintendo?
Yeah, I mean,
who the hell cares?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. Diverse backgrounds certainly make each and every widget. Yeah, must-have item. Yeah, nepotism, pretty much with extra steps. The fuck does my skin color have to do with being able to code a video game? Exactly. Like, it's everything to do with your skill and intellect. It has nothing to do with your background. It's like,
no.
What? Like, Einstein was pretty much. He didn't exactly have the best background, like best childhood growing up, but he's one of the smartest individuals out there.
Yeah,
there's nothing to do. There's a difference between education and intellect.
Every invention we ever had, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happened because someone who was thinking asked the question.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're taught not to question.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Turning to the topic of women in management specifically, Nintendo asserted, as part of these efforts, we are recruiting women and creating an environment in which women can build successful careers. Basically, if you have a hoo-ha, that's your foot in the door. We intend to increase the proportion of women in managerial positions from the current proportions in the Nintendo Group's principal offices globally. 23.7% as of March 31st, 2021, and Nintendo Company Limited in Japan, 4.2% as of March 31st, 2021, they added.
Can I tell you like a little history lesson?
Mm-hmm.
Back in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
when one of the biggest companies of that time, Sierra Online,
Mm-hmm.
well, they were called Sierra first and then Sierra Online. Uh, Roberta Williams was probably their biggest game developer. She created the adventure game genre. That is due to her. In the early days, you had to type and all, and then you got more and more graphics, right? And it
Mhm.
became the point and click adventure games.
Mhm.
She got basically like a lifetime achievement award a few years ago, and she was the second person in the world to get that one. And she was so good at developing games back in the day that she had her name on the game boxes. It said a Roberta Williams game, and it was well earned. And there were like 6 or 7 others in that company uh, of, of the game developers that were women. So how the heck did we get from that to, oh yeah, women are never given a chance to make video games and shit? I mean, all they have to do is go back to the 80s and look, you know, the person who created, you know, the Bard's Tale
Mhm.
games, that was a guy who's now a woman. So I guess that counts, right?
Oh, I mean, it should count, so especially to
Yeah.
these people. But basically, it's first off, history, like overall history, doesn't start for these people until like slavery in the in the America. So like nothing
Yeah.
prior to that ever existed. So no other like race on Earth was ever enslaved.
Yeah.
And secondly, they don't. As proof as with that, and as proof of this, they don't read their history, so they just look at what it's like now and assume it's always been like that.
Yeah. And they're
And
also taking away the achievements of those women
yeah,
that literally created genres
yeah,
through sheer imagination back in the 80s.
pretty much.
So they're not promoting women, they're pissing on other women that actually earned their place in gaming history.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
so it's like
if
I
you
like
guys
see
want
like the
to,
thing is like for most people, it doesn't matter the gender. It doesn't like we're not looking at the like the demographic of the gaming company and saying like, okay, this is how many men are there, this is how many women are there. No, this is how many people are working here creating the games we want to play. If it happens to
yeah,
be a man creating the game, well, good on him. If it happens to be a woman creating the game, well, good on her. We don't fucking care. Give us a good game.
yeah, and you know, I could not get enough of those games back in the day because you know they were games with a story that was
Mhm.
rare back then. And if it
Exactly.
hadn't been for you know games like King's Quest by Roberta Williams and stuff,
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't even have bothered learning English the way I did because that was a huge incentive,
Mhm.
you know.
Actually, like some of the best ways to learn a language is to pick, like, find a topic written in that language that you're interested in, and that's like
Yeah,
that'll at least make it fun for you.
yeah.
So,
And if you're a kid and you're actually being rewarded by being able to progress the game's story
mhm,
because you put effort into learning English, then you know that's a great incentive.
mhm, exactly. And the gender, because now they say gender, they don't say biological sex of those creating games was second at most, but like way down the line because our focus was. Is this a good game? Yes. We enjoying the story? If it's a story-based game, yes. Are the
Yeah,
graphics good? Yes. That's what we're looking at first.
you know what? I bet you would have absolutely loved King's Quest 4.
I probably would have been.
Yeah, because it's inspired a little bit by the Wizard of Oz.
Gadfly Fiction says, I'm a graduate student in classical and medieval studies. That's very interesting. My colleagues can only see things from the one perspective and have an incredibly limited exposure to the source materials. Infuriating. Yeah. Pretty infuriating. Dr. Coffindale says, I learned the language of love. Yes. And another one.
It's a sign language.
Music. Yeah, music. Sam McCabe says is great for learning languages too. Source I'm a language teacher. Yeah. So basically, it's like it's basically sources that people don't think of. So like playing a game in a different language will teach you you'll pick up on it faster because you're partaking in something that is you have enjoyment in.
Yeah.
So,
Also, in my case, cartoons and TV shows that were not dubbed but had subtitles.
Mhm.
That way, you're basically fed the language all the time.
Spotting language, yeah. So basically that's the end of the article. So it says, "What do you make of Nintendo's updated corporate governance report? Completely unnecessary, and a turnoff at the same time."
Yeah, it's unnecessary if they're only getting the job because they're women.
Mhm.
If they happen to be women who were the best people
Yeah.
for the job anyway, then fine. But this is nothing new. This is just an extra layer of the same cringe cake. That is the virtue signal tart.
And they don't have like a date, the definitive dates goal wise, so they can kick this can like I said down the road for as long as possible, as long as they want, because they basically made it as general as possible that they pat themselves on the back, virtue signal to the Twitter tards, and then go well maybe they'll forget about it in like a year.
You know what? I'm gonna take a stab. It's like the people boycotting Disney. When are you gonna start boycotting? When? Any day now?
Yeah. Hey, Holocron. Sorry, I'm saying hello. And Sentinel. Sadly, there's too few Amy Hennigs and way too many Kathleen Kennedys in these managerial positions. Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna defend Kathleen Kennedy a little bit because we know now that the buck stops with Disney. Lucasfilm aren't allowed to do stuff that Disney don't approve of, which means she is kind of the middle person.
Yep.
So even though she's released shit products, it might not all be her fault.
Well, I mean, she takes at least enough of the blame because it would be something that she would approve immediately and want to do. But then Disney would also take that blame because they're the ones that said, Godspeed, go for it.
Yeah, it's basically you can only. There's a limit to what kind of paintings you can paint if you're only given 4 colors to work with.
Yeah.
Still, she should.
Yeah, I'm saying, it's like defending her is not meaning that she's good. It just means she's not entirely to blame. So
yeah.
But anyway, so that was the Nintendo topic. Like I said, it's pretty much cringe. Now, is it going to stop people from buying Nintendo? No, because most people are going to look at this and going, "This was so stupid. Why did you do this?" But at the same time, if they keep doing it, they're going to turn more and more people off. So,
yeah, you see more and more people as well, doing little tweets and videos and stuff. And, this is why I left the SJW cult, and they're starting to realize that it's not good.
A cult. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cult.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that was Nintendo. Not really much to it other than that was their statement, and it's basically cringe as fuck. And we'll see what they do. We'll see what they do basically. So that's their statement. We'll see if they make good on it, which I very much doubt. Like I said, I think it's going to end up being they're going to kick the can down the road, virtue signal often or as many times as they can, and then hope that people forget that they said this. So, but anyway, so moving on to one of the other 3 topics we have Wheel of Time, Seth Rogen, and Leatherface. So 1, 2, 3. So
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen. Okay.
Yeah. I took a jab at him. You know what? Lethal got put in the Twitter slammer for 7 days for calling him a retard.
Yeah.
I got 12 hours for calling him a retard 3 times in one
this
post.
is like his this is not his first offense, so that's probably why.
It's not mine either.
So, but I don't know, but maybe it's your first offense using the word.
Actually, it's probably my first offense with the new account.
Maybe.
Yeah, because the other one, the original Kenobi, Steve Kenobi on Twitter, got permanently suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah, for saying that skanky hoes would not survive with for one day without their cell phones. That qualified as encouraging violence towards a protected group. That's what it said.
Hmm.
So take their phones away as violence or something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
skanky
pretty
hoes
much.
are a protected group,
Yeah.
which means they're protected by the pimp, which means Twitter is a pimp.
Yeah, there you go. You should have written that. But anyway, well, first offense for the count, Becky, because basically basically goes like this: first offense is 12 hours, then the second offense is like longer than that. Like for me, I've been in Twitter jail twice. First was 12 hours, then I had a 7-day suspension as well because I called a guy I called a guy on Twitter a thought, one of the Birds of Prey stamps.
I called Christy a swamp ass bitch
Mhm.
because she goaded me into saying it, and I think I got 7 days.
I don't know. They must have bots now. Like so, if you use a certain word, it triggers it right away. Because like some of the
No,
time, because there's like no way that someone saw that and as quickly as possible to report it.
no, that one took a little while.
But still, how many people like are like going
Someone
through
reported
Twitter
that
like
one.
looking for tweets to report? So
Yeah, someone reported that one. But
I don't know.
the one with the retard thing, I think it was a bot.
Yeah, I think it's set up now so like certain words will just like automatically go you're in timeout.
Yeah,
So
but I cheated too though. I replaced um the E with a 3. Thought I would get away with it. Didn't work. It has worked for many months actually, but now it's over.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I got put in Twitter jail for calling what's her name, Joy Bihar.
Behar.
Yeah,
I don't like. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but
I called her a bimbo.
yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah,
No. But at any rate, so here we go. Anti-white activist, who's also white himself, Seth Rogen brags about telling people to go fuck themselves as he calls critics of Santa Inc. white supremacists. I'm biracial. Epstein's ghost is black. Trey is black. Daniel is gay.
Jane Theory had to go at him.
Yeah, Jane Theory, she's black. She's a black woman.
Mm-hmm. And Nina,
And
she's
Soul Assassin, he's Mexican.
Nina's half Arab.
Yeah, like me, half Arabic. But I think, well, technically she's Iranian, right? That's technically
Yeah.
Persian.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, like half Middle Eastern, basically, just like encompassing that area, same as me. And you have Steph, who's Mexican, Spanish, Latina. So it's like, but no, we're white supremacists.
Yeah. I don't even know what race most people are really. I only see the Twitter handle.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah. But these
usually,
people look at say for example, like you remember that pink-haired fan I had for a little bit that was like popping into the chat accusing us of like all sorts of like stupid shit.
yes, a few months ago.
And like basically that person whoever that person was
Probably white.
just saw this and like, oh, like you are a white woman, like as if I'm entirely white in my background, like ethnic wise. I'm like, well, no, I'm not. I'm just fair skinned because that was like the dominating genetics.
Yeah.
In my makeup, but I'm half Middle Eastern.
Yeah. Well, shit cares. You don't get treated any different by me on D&D.
Yeah, no. He goes out of his way to make I like end up in bondage.
Well, you know what? Usually, I do roll a dice though for who this and that will attack.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if it's an ambush, it's you because you're always walking at the back.
Yeah, kind of. Well, because I'm the archer, so I kind of say,
Yeah.
well, that and the fact that I'm like not wearing any armor to speak of, so it's like I can't exactly be in the front.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go into this idiot. Anti-white activist Seth Rogen recently described critics of his HBO Max animated series, Santa Inc., as white supremacists just days after bragging he makes sure to directly message people to go fuck themselves. So here it is. I did not bother watching it. Like some people have and said it was shit. So I took them at their word.
Yeah, it's
Rogen made his anti-white activism clear in an August 2020 interview with Entertainment Weekly's Leah Greenblatt while attempting to promote his An American Pickle film. Right? In that interview, which Entertainment Weekly has now made unavailable, surprise, surprise, Rogen told Greenblatt, "I mean, personally, I think I'm just actively trying to make less things starring white people." Said as a white man.
starring not as many white people except for himself.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, he's now the weird gay uncle everyone has. Yeah. Okay, so he went on to say, and if I'm succeeding or I'm not, I'm very much looking to have a far more diverse group of writers and directors and actors that we generally work with because that group is not incredibly diverse, meaning I'm going to judge someone based on the sex, skin color, and sexuality first rather than their intellect and talent. So Rogen ultimately concluded, so that's how I've been trying to deal with it. It's just to actively take, as they would say, anti-racist measures to assure that, which is code for white savior mentality, to assure that some work is done. How are these fucking hell? To acknowledge that black people are very marginalized in American society. Don't you love a white person speaking for you all?
Yeah.
Says the white man playing the star. Yes.
At least he specifies that it's in American society, not in the whole world, because sometimes they do that too.
Hey, gaming. What up? Yeah, so basically, first off, these people are either just ignorant or just willfully ignoring this fact because their heads are so far up their asses that they cannot see how arrogant and conceited and self-centered this is, because they're still making it about them. They're still saying, look at me, look how much I'm helping you, look at me. That's what they're doing. They're making it about them, not about the actual group they're claiming to help.
The highest grossing actor of all time, I believe, is Samuel Jackson now. He has surpassed Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
So not that marginalized.
Yeah, expect to race swap April O'Neil. Yeah, well, April O'Neil's a white. She's a white woman and she's a redhead, so you know what? She's most likely going to be race swapped.
They have race swapped Red Sonja.
Yeah.
They cast a brunette to play Red Sonja.
She's still like white because they could dye her hair.
Yeah, no, she's like, isn't she like Latina or something?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I didn't like. You're the one who was like more into it, so if like you want to find that, but yeah, so it's like if it's still a white woman, the hair can be dyed. If it's Latina, yeah, they're race swapping. So yeah, so basically, it's so, like I said, it's so in their white savior mentality, they're still making about themselves personally. They don't give a fuck about anybody else. They really don't. Because if you have a genuine altruistic personality, you don't have to telegraph it. You do not have to telegraph the fact that you're a good person, because your actions will speak louder than any words that you say. And the fact that he has to say that I'm going out of my way to promote these anti-racist measures tells me that he's probably the biggest fucking racist there is. And two, he's making it about himself.
I found a picture of, let's see, copy image address. I'm going to put it in the private chat. You can see who they cast as Red Sonja for the Netflix shit series.
Okay. Let me just click on that link. Oh, yeah, that's a race swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a race swap. All right. It's Netflix too, so go figure. But anyway, moving on.
Her name is called Hannah John Kamen.
Yeah, it's hyphenated, so I don't know if that's married or just I don't know. But anyway.
Yeah.
Not only has Rogen expressed anti-white views, noting that he will discriminate against them, but he also expressed some rather extreme views about Christians. Yeah. Fucking hell. In July 2020, on the WTF with Mark Marone, another fucking idiot podcast, again attempting to promote American Pickle, Rogen and Marone began discussing the post-Holocaust strategies for the Jewish people. Okay, the Holocaust was a very tragic, very fucked up time for Jewish people. I'm not going to deny that. At the same fucking time, it's been over 70 years. Why the fuck are you talking about post-Holocaust strategies for the Jewish people?
Yeah, and it wasn't just the Jewish people. It was gay people
Gays,
as well.
handicapped,
People with
black
Down
people,
syndrome. Yeah,
anyone that wasn't Aryan
yeah,
or I'm not even going to say Christian because Hitler, he's no fucking way. Like, he wasn't Christian. He had people worship the state.
yeah,
So anybody that was against him, that wasn't towing the nasty line, and I say nasty because I'm not saying the proper and term, you had to escape with your life because you were not going to live past, like, if you at all were in his crosshairs, literally and figuratively.
yeah.
Can we just
And,
deport him? I'd love to deport him back to Canada. I really would.
I bet you after
18
9/11 for a few
Mhm.
years,
Yeah.
Seth Rogen was yelling that you shouldn't judge people based on their religion.
Yeah, he's judging Christians. So
Yeah, and this has become a thing. I'm an atheist, open-minded atheist. Maybe a spiritual atheist would be a thing. I don't know. But even I have noticed that people are attacking Christians. I mean, in almost every movie or show now that you see Christians, they're either portrayed as batshit crazy or extremely dumb.
yeah,
That's it.
That's like not exactly new. Do you remember? Have you seen a movie with you know Kane, like wrestler Kane, right?
What?
The wrestler Kane. Do you know like American wrestling at all?
Nothing.
Okay, well he did a movie, and I think it's called See No Evil or something like that. But anyway, spoiler alert for anybody who has not seen the movie with Kane. There's two movies. There's a sequel. See No Evil. I was right. See No Evil. So spoiler alert for anybody who has not seen the movie that might at some point see this. Even like the old woman in there, who is his mom, was insanely religious, and I say insanely religious because like she was the one pushing him to kill these sinners. She was the Christian.
Yeah. The only wrestling I've been exposed to in the last 10 years was I was in the park, and I got fed up with this asshole and started wrestling with him, and I won too after I tossed his wheelchair into the pond.
So it would have been a fun flick, but then they went with that angle with the old woman, and I was like, Jesus Christ. Like they did not have to go that route, really. But that's what I was like. Why did you have to do that? So, yeah, it was not. Yeah, it's Carrie's mother, in he's another stereotype.
And the crazy lady that kind of created a cult willy-nilly in the Mist.
Yeah, like when she did that, I was like, do you fucking have to do that? Seriously, just have her batshit crazy. Why do you have to bring religion into it?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely religious myself, but at the same time, every crazy fuck that's in these movies is Christian. Like, would these people love it if every Muslim was portrayed as a terrorist?
I actually I was on a stream with Revkev, and we were talking about that exact topic because he's noticed it too.
Yeah, so I would be just as mad if every Muslim was like portrayed as a terrorist, even though I know most terrorists are Muslim, but I know not every Muslim is a terrorist. But if Hollywood started portraying every Muslim as terrorist, like evil, I would be just as upset because it'd be like harkening back to the golden age of Hollywood, pretty much, where especially Asian actors were either the bad guys, especially during World War II, or servants.
Yeah, they were servants or ninjas, really. You know?
So it's like that was a stereotype there. It's just as bad. So it's like,
Yeah, and well, quite often in action movies, you did have uh, uh, Middle Easterns as villains,
Yeah.
especially in the 80s.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize she was based on it. I mean, I'm sure I'm not saying like that, like there's like no crazy religious types out there necessarily, but at the same time, it's like the same people who say like don't like say following 9/11, don't judge every Muslim because not every Muslim's a terrorist, are the same ones who are judging every Christian because like we're all members of the Westboro Baptist Church, obviously, to these people. So
Yeah.
um,
For the SJWs want everyone to be judged by their individualism or individuality.
mhm.
Yeah, but they're the ones who group people.
Yeah, pretty much. So they're the ones who, the term I generally use is balkanizing. If like know the
Yeah,
history, like post World War II, the Balkans, try and split it up between like just like dividing between ethnicities and things like that, and like hyphenating based on ethnicity, like saying African American or things like that. That's balkanizing. That's separating people rather than saying we're Americans or we're Norwegian or we're this. No, you have to separate them with
yeah, which
hyphens.
means
So
Norwegians are not Swedes, you fuckholes.
yeah, so not only okay. In the middle of this conversation, Rogan claimed, and it would be nice to live somewhere that was not part of the Christian apocalyptic prophecy is also probably a good idea. Maybe settle somewhere that the Christians don't think you all have to die in order for the apocalypse to happen. Well, maybe, I don't know. See how well you do in Saudi Arabia, you fuckhead. See how well you do in Iran, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
How about, like, move your happy ass to actually, Israel. See if you survive a bombing there. I'm like, seriously. He's saying this from literally his ivory white tower. He would reiterate, they need us to go there so we can die so the apocalypse can take place. You're in fucking America. Where's the apocalypse supposed to take place?
This is the guy who has so much money that having his car broken into or stolen 15 times didn't bother him.
Yeah. Now, Rogan is describing critics of his HBO Max animated series Santa Inc. as white supremacists following the trailer for the series showing an elf, voiced by Sarah Silverman, who's also a bitch, named Candy, livid that Santa Claus is white.
Oh, yeah,
Another
Blackface Silverman.
Yeah, you saw my tweet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this you?
Yeah, that was her.
Yeah. Another elf tells Candy, but the position of Santa has mostly been a white man's game. Candy responds, exactly, it's fucking crazy. Things have got to change. Then in a strategy session for her move to become Santa, another character named Devin tells Candy, let's go over what we know. Santa and the board are all male and all white.
Okay.
The trailer?
Near the South Pole? People are pale near the South Pole? Really?
Well, you mean the North Pole?
Yeah, sorry, North Pole.
Yeah, still, basically, it's like you're not really getting a lot of sun. So,
nope.
I'm sorry. The trailer would rightfully get a ton of criticism, so much so that HBO Max shut off the comments section. Rogan would describe many of those critics as white supremacists. He took to Twitter where he wrote, "We really pissed off tens of thousands of white supremacists with our new show Santa Inc., which is now available on HBO Max." He then added, "Please read the responses to this tweet for confirmation." And the first response I saw when I saw the tweet before our stream was Jane Theory, a black woman.
Yeah. She thinks it's shit too.
Yeah. Yeah, The Rock is a top earner. He's a top earner. So like that blows that out of the water as well because
he's also a shit actor.
I mean, The Rock plays The Rock. You don't go to a Rock movie and expecting anything but seeing The Rock. So
yeah.
And to be fair to him, you don't really.
No.
It's like Samuel L. Jackson. You don't go there expecting anything but seeing Samuel L. Jackson on screen. So
more so with him though. I mean, he's done some Black Snake Moan.
Well, he has movies like that, but like for now, like especially now, like before, no, but especially now, it's like Samuel Jackson playing Samuel Jackson. So
Yeah.
Rogen's tweet comes days after he revealed he messages people on Twitter to tell them to go fuck themselves. I'm tempted to just try that to see if he does it. He wrote, "A lot of people come at me and talk shit on Twitter hoping I'll engage with them publicly and give them attention, but instead I DM them and tell them to go fuck themselves privately. It's a lot more fun." No, it's a coward's way to move.
Do you remember probably 3 years ago, one of those blue checkmark people were having a go at Sith Kryptonian?
Yeah.
And calling him a white supremacist and blah, blah, blah. And Sith let them keep going for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And then he put up a video of himself, face revealing. He's Arab.
He's not white. He's Arab.
Yeah. He was sitting there
He's Arab.
flipping the person the finger. And holy shit, the guy backtracked, though. It was damage control galore.
Yeah.
I miss Sith Kryptonian. Hope he comes back.
He had to take a break, and I understand that. Like sometimes you just have to kind of get off of social media. So
yeah, he was studying too.
Yeah, so so hopefully he comes back because he's a cool guy.
Yeah, really sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Sharp.
What do you make of Seth Rogen describing critics? Well, I mean, it's like basically typical Hollywood at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I know not everyone in Hollywood is like this, but they are in the minority, or at least vocally in the minority, because you have shitheads like this.
Yeah, I retweeted his tweet and said, "Hey, maybe it's just a shit movie. It's not like you've been in any good ones before."
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't think of a single movie that he was in that was actually good.
Well, see, like Steph and I were talking about him during Talk Nerdy to Us last Saturday. It was on her channel, and I said that Seth Rogen really has never been a good actor, but he's for the most part been tolerable, in my opinion, at least personally. And he's more tolerable when he's in like an ensemble movie. When he's the focus, it's cringe. I'm like, you're not funny. Stop trying to be. But when he's in like a group, like an ensemble, kind of like Knocked Up, where he had at least the banter amongst him and the guys he lived with in that movie, he's bearable.
He was okay in Fanboys. The people who wants to steal.
Was he in that? No, he wasn't in that.
Yes, he played the Star Trek guy.
Oh, yeah, he had dual roles. He had played the Star Trek guy and the pimp, who was a Star Wars. Yeah, like a small role. I'm saying, like, when he's in some actor, Kung Fu Panda's like the other one that we mentioned because he's a voice actor and he did a good job as Mantis. Super bad, but when he's not the focus, he's tolerable because he's but when he is the focus, you're like,
yeah, just have him play the weird guy at the bait store.
Yeah, like pretty much exactly. Like he voiced Paul. So fanboys watch stream more. I have that. I have the DVD somewhere. Maybe
it was actually quite funny.
Yeah, I enjoy that movie. I love that movie. So, 40-year-old Rhino is good. Yeah, like I said, when he's not the main actor, he's tolerable. When he is, he's cringe. So,
yeah, whenever he's not in the movie and opens his mouth, he's beyond cringe.
Yeah,
and he has a big mouth.
Oh yeah, then he so yeah. But there it is. That's the Seth Rogen topic. Like it basically, like whatever hopes this man had for Santa Inc. Yeah, which is really like none to begin with, because based on the trailer reaction for most people, like anybody who would have given a remote chance, it's like gone. So
yeah, and then with his promotion of it, it's usually doesn't end well when they start calling people various kinds of ists.
Yeah,
before the movie's even out,
Yeah, so I just don't get. I don't get some people, but anyway. So, all right, so we've gone through.
Oh, side note.
Mm-hmm.
I watched The Last Duel today, the Ridley Scott movie with Adam Driver and.
Oh yeah.
People were bashing that for being woke. It wasn't.
Well, like I said, like I did not have a chance to see it in theaters. I don't think it even really came to the theater near where I was living, so
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to come like on a streaming service. But the
Yeah.
impression I was getting was that the movie itself wasn't woke, but the people writing the articles like
Yeah.
about it were making
Yeah.
it such.
Yeah.
So
Basically, this was about. It was one story, but you got to see it from 3 points of view.
mhm.
And you could make up your own mind, which was the most correct one.
Yeah, so it's
And
so
then
basically
it
just
had,
idiots opening their mouths pretty much. So
yeah, and it showcased medieval politics, which of course were very unfair towards women and
well, yeah, I mean,
poor
like,
people.
yeah, so it's like so pretty much
That
it's like I'm sorry, you can't change history. History
yeah,
sucks sometimes. So
yeah,
it's like,
that's not woke. That's
no,
just
I'm
the
saying.
way it was.
Yeah, but that's like I was reading these articles and I'm like, well, I mean that's history.
Yeah,
I'm saying like it doesn't mean that it was like that the movie itself is making it woke by making it kind of like a Me Too esque movie. It just shows that yeah, it kind of sucked for women back then.
yeah. It wasn't a Me Too movie. It was just yeah, and holy shit. All the acting was fantastic, but goddamn Ben Affleck, he was not good in it. He tried to do an accent.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that
That is
was no, and he
okay.
had bleached hair.
Oh, okay.
It was
Yeah.
weird.
I find that with a lot of films nowadays, it's not films themselves that are intolerable. It's the fuck knuckles promoting them. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think we actually talked about that last time.
yeah.
It's
Like
the
it's
people
well, yeah,
promoting.
not easy being a woman, especially back then. Like I'm not like
No,
going to say necessarily that like history hasn't been unkind to any one demographic. Like history's like for the most part, like you learn from it and you learn what not to do, and some of it sucks for a lot of people. But at the same time, it does not mean that we alter it or like
yeah,
ignore it or anything like that. So
and two of the women actually, because one of the women gets raped,
mhm.
and people don't believe her or whatever, and but two of the women that were closest to her, well, one said, "Don't report it because it's not going to go well," and the other one didn't believe her
Mhm.
just because she had said she thought Adam Driver's character was handsome. So women are portrayed badly in it too. It's not just the men.
Mhm.
It was actually pretty 50-50.
Well, I do want to see it. I just, like I said, it didn't come that I recall to any theater that I could have gone to. Um, so I don't know. And
Yeah.
like Trey said, it kind of got sidelined because of Halloween Kills, which is, I mean, I'm not saying I'm disbelieving you, but if like it is true about the movie, like, it's unfortunate because it sounds like would have been a good movie.
Yeah,
in the
it
theater.
actually. I think you would like it. It's a very uh, it was well done, and it was almost like a movie that makes you think, which
Mhm.
is rare
Yeah.
nowadays. Anyway,
Well,
I
yeah,
I
nowadays pretty much. Not.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Mhm. All right, so like I said, once it comes to like a streaming service or whatever, I'll check it out. Like I
Yeah,
haven't seen it just yet, so but Adam Driver is handsome, you heathen. But anyway, so now we're down to our last two topics.
yeah.
We have two articles, kind of for both: Wheel of Time and Leatherface.
Leatherface.
All right, so let's go through the Polygon one before the Entertainment, because I think the Entertainment Weekly one is not that long. Let me look at it real fast.
I guess we can take it at
Oh,
the
I mean,
look.
it's decent. No, it's decent. Oh, we'll go through the Polygon one first. That's
Yeah, we can take it at Leatherface value.
so. Let me just share.
Leatherface was trans in one of the movies too. I think it was the third one. He was running around with a dress.
All right. Oh, anyway, here. Netflix's new Texas Chainsaw Massacre finds Leatherface trying to be a good person. The Evil Dead team, and the Evil Dead team meaning that the people who brought us the 2013 remake or reboot of Evil Dead, are here to resurrect a horror franchise.
Well, you know what? The Evil Dead remake was actually damn good.
It was good. It still had some cliches.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't. I as soon as I saw the dog, I was like, oh, like fucking hell, that dog's gonna get it. I like Sieg knows me. I don't like when anything happens to animals.
I know. I just threaten Mara with animal cruelty in D&D.
Yeah, that's what he does. And then he wonders why I threatened him with pussy candles from Paltrow. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I only threaten you with animal cruelty because of the pussy candles.
mm-hmm.
So we have a circle thing.
It's a vicious cycle, pretty much.
Yeah, the hound and the candle.
Yes. So, like, it was a decent remake. I'm not saying anything against the remake. I'm just saying, like, there was, like, some cliches in it. And I was like, oh, for a remake, it was, like, a lot better than the Nightmare on Elm Street and the Friday the 13th one.
Oh, yeah, those were... I liked the Friday the 13th one.
Mm-hmm.
I think people give that series a lot more credit than it deserves because it really has no lore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a crazy woman had a deformed kid and the kid died, so she went nuts and killed people, and then he comes back and kills people.
Yeah,
that's the lore.
Yeah, pretty much. So I mean,
So
there's
that's
not much
it.
to it. It's basically Friday the 13th amounted to like schlocky fun.
Yeah,
because like you're basically seeing, you're not really watching them for plots. You're just watching to see how Jason kills them.
Yeah, that's it.
So, but anyway, so a sequel-ish reboot-like continuation of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is. Why do they have it in like chainsaw is one word?
What's wrong with you, Galford's dog? Can you highlight him? He wins the chat today.
Yeah. Although if you think about Don't Breathe, that's the one with Stephen Lang, right? Where he's blind.
Yeah.
If you think about that plot, it does not make any sense.
Really?
The twist does not make any sense.
The fact that he's blind?
No, like what? Like I can't say the twist without spoiling anything, but what he has in the basement, and how he found that person when he's blind.
I can't remember what that was.
Oh, look it up. You'll see. You'll remember it. But I watched that and I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. All right, so, and Chainsaw is one word. Is coming to Netflix on February 18th, 2022. The new movie, which differentiates from Tobe Hopper's 1974. It should be Wait.
No, I think it's Hopper.
Okay. 1974 original by dropping that film's the. Of course, yeah. Obviously, it's different because you dropped the. And connecting the chainsaw is meant to be a direct sequel of that original while not entirely dropping the continuity of the original sequels. What? So basically, the sequels technically still happen, but this is a direct sequel to the original. How does that work?
I don't know. Maybe it just focuses on what happened in the first one and kind of ignores the rest. I don't know.
I'm just saying, like, yeah, it doesn't see this says it's dropping by dropping the film's the and connecting the chainsaw is meant to be a direct sequel of the original, not entirely dropping the continuity of the originals. See, the thing is, like, if you make it a direct sequel, you're kind of dropping that continuity. It's kind of like what Halloween did.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, how is that going to work? If that sounds confusing, it sure as fucking hell does. Producer Fede Alvarez, Fade, Soul Sass. Sorry, how did I pronounce that name?
I think it's Fede.
Alvarez.
I think it's Fede.
Fede breaks it down in a new interview in Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, convoluted. Yeah, pretty much. When I say direct sequel, I wouldn't say it skips everything, the director of the 2013 Evil Dead reboot says. When movies do that, sometimes it feels a bit disrespectful to all the other films. Some people love Texas Chainsaw 2. I love a lot of things about that movie. It's so wacky and of its time. But the rest is such a mess canon-wise. I think it's up to you to decide when and how the events of the other movies happen.
He is he's right about that because a lot of them contradict each other.
I know, but at the same time, it's like But when you're leaving up to say people decide when and how the events of the other movies happen, they kind of imply in the movies like when they happen. So it's not up to the audience to determine that, because there is no ambiguity necessarily there. So by you making it as direct sequel to the original, you are getting rid of that convoluted canon.
Yeah.
Like, there's no ambiguity. That's the point. There's no ambiguity of when these events happen. So it's not like, hey, these take place and you decide when they're going to take place. It's just, no, like, you know when they do take place. Should have just did a sequel to the 2003 movie, which I think is also a decent reboot. The 2003 movie. So it just doesn't make sense how they're going about this. Continuity with a nearly 50-year-old movie can be challenging enough. What has Leatherface, the franchise's chainsaw swinging murderer, been doing all this time when we see him in Texas Chainsaw Massacre? He's, quote, been hiding for a long time, trying to be a good person, according to Alvarez, until newcomers to his small town awaken the giant. Leatherface's good deeds between murder sprees remain to be seen. No, there are no good deeds. He kills and skins people. He's not a good person. He may have had a shitty background, but he's not a good person. New pictures are also up of the cast, which has been noted on Twitter, do bear a striking resemblance to Stranger Things. Yeah, they do. What the actual fuck? And is that 3 women and a guy? All right, he's still evil. My headcanon is that all movies are not canon. Well, there you go. It'd be funny if he said 15 minutes of every movie is canon, pretty much. But it's unfair to judge a movie from one still image. Okay, fair point. If anything, the timing does seem right for Leatherface to wreak havoc yet again. It's hard to understate the impact of Hooper's original. Okay, one says Hopper, one says Hooper. Isn't it Toby Hooper? It has to be Toby Hooper. I think I'm Toby Hooper.
I'll Google it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's Hooper.
Yeah, I was right. I was like, Hopper, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Hooper, as Hooper told Texas Monthly in 2004, he didn't originally want to make a horror movie, but with no money, no cast, and only one other unsuccessful movie behind him, an art house project that mainly attracted the hippies who'd later become Leatherface's targets, the director didn't have many options. What do? Horror films is about it. And yeah, it's that genre is probably one of the, I'm not saying the easiest genre to do, but it's one of the cheapest, so to speak. And that's because if you actually just tell a good story with tension and apprehension and atmosphere and things like that, you can make it on the cheap, in a sense, and make a hell of a fucking profit if it's a good movie. That's what Blumhouse does. I'm not saying the movies are good. I'm saying they make them cheap and they make a big profit, so that way they can make good films.
Also,
that's what they do.
It's one of the genres where you can, the shittier sets you have, the better. Sometimes just found and set it in an old, like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just find an old abandoned creepy farm.
Something.
Yeah,
it's there. They're there. I mean, hell, I'm pretty sure you can find some malls that have shut down and make another zombie pick or another or like set the movie there and have it like that atmosphere. It's like abandoned and things like that. And so, hey, there are little locations literally around every country that you could use for a movie.
Yeah, even just find an old mine.
Yeah,
something. Old train station.
The idea for the movie came to Hooper during a crowded holiday season. There were these big Christmas crowds. I was frustrated and I found myself near a display rack of chainsaws, Hooper told Texas Monthly. I just kind of zoned in on it. I did a rack focus to the saws and I thought, I know a way I could get through this crowd really quickly. I went home, sat down, all the channels just tuned in, the zeitgeist blew through, and the whole damn story came to me in what seemed like about 30 seconds. Those daydreamy 30 seconds have created a legacy that's now over 30 years old. Perhaps a movie so quickly conceived was never meant to spawn a franchise, but that's what happened. Hooper directed a sequel in 1986, which dropped the cinema verite approach for more comedic elements and received mixed reviews. Then came Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 in 1990, which features a 32-year-old Viggo Mortensen and a lot of gore, but not much else. I think I saw that a while back. The franchise was eventually given a Michael Bay-backed reboot in 2003, which was actually pretty decent. And now it seems that every generation gets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot they deserve. What do you mean they deserve? They don't deserve anything, really. For the new movie, director David Blue Garcia told Entertainment Weekly that Fede hammered practical, and that while shooting in Bulgaria, there were times when I'd walk into the hotel after a day of shooting and he'd be covered head to toe in blood. Of course, practical effects aren't the same as when Hooper was first shooting, and there surely will be some visual effects work on the finished product, but the goal was to deliver something visceral. I guess there's that positive. I'm like the opposite of you, Shadow Master. I love the horror movie genre. It's like probably it switches. Like that genre and sci-fi and fantasy sci-fi switch. So depending on what mood I am, it could be either number 1 or number 2. Despite not shooting on location in the Lone Star State, Garcia also intends for the movie to comment on the changing nature of Texas. I'm sure you Texans will love this. Austin was once where outlaws and hippies eyed each other uneasily, coming together only for Willie Nelson's concerts. Hooper's 70s Texas is long gone, replaced by a rapidly growing tech sector that is now considered the biggest winner of the COVID-19 pandemic, with workers rapidly expanding the city and driving up rent. A horror of a different breed. I think that's where the gentrification angle comes in. In the new movie's description provided by Netflix, Melody, her teenage sister Lila, and their friends Dante and Ruth head to the remote town of Harlow, Texas to start an idealistic new business venture. Whether the movie's new incarnation of Leatherface will saw techies in half remains to be seen. Well, there's that article. Whew. A bit to get through.
I thought it was when I saw the picture of the cast, I was like, yeah, this looks very Netflix.
And here's is this the picture that you saw?
No, yeah, that one. I mean, it looks so Netflix, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And I didn't know it was being released on Netflix when I said that. I just figured, yeah, this looks Netflix-ish, right? And holy shit, it does. It doesn't mean it's going to be bad, but it sounds weird.
Hey, Movie Man McDonald. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a franchise that needs to die, and I'm not the biggest Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan. I mean, on one hand, I agree with you because it's easy for Hollywood especially to kind of rely on the nostalgia factor and the already built-in fan base for most of these franchises. But at the same time, it's like if they make a decent reboot, I'm not exactly going to complain. But so it's like 50-50 for me. So. But there's that. So let me bring up the Entertainment Weekly article real fast and see if there's anything different in there. I kind of doubt it, but this is the article that you tagged me in. So basically, Leatherface is back to slay, and first look at Buzzy, new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a direct sequel to Tobe Hooper's original horror classic, and EW has an exclusive preview of the bloody mayhem about to ensue. I don't want to play that because that's like 9 minutes, so I can post this link in the chat if you want, or if you're not on Twitter. So he did the 2013 Evil Dead reboot. Says who directed Don't Breathe and The Girl in the Spider's Web. Shot in Bulgaria, so that's not new.
Seems to be the same stuff.
Yeah, trying to think. It mixes a lot of important real-life issues with horror themes, which is also something I love. That's not entirely a turnoff for me, but at the same time, it's like a red flag.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's like you see a sign where it says mines, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or minefield.
Yeah, so they count. They say they're gonna trying to gentrify a small town America, and they say there's some pushback. The pushback will likely come from Leatherface, the franchise's iconic chainsaw wielding masked killer, who was introduced as. Hold on. Okay, this story will pick it up many years after the original story. He's been in hiding for a long time. Thank you for fucking jumping on me. Long time trying to be a good person. It's Leatherface. There's nothing good about him. It's like saying Michael Myers is trying to become a priest.
You know what this reminds me of? The new Terminator movie, where Arnold's character shows up and kills John Connor, and then he goes off and starts selling drapes and puts on what is it, the LGBTQ earring or whatever it was called.
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah. So I mean, I'm trying to see if there's any other like that's just I don't know. It's a red flag for me. This goes into like the other sequels and so forth. There's not much new in this article, but basically, like I said, that part right there is a red flag for me. Like, why do you need to bring real life issues into a movie where it's about a chainsaw wielding maniac who skins people a lot, like literally skins them.
He wears their face.
Yes, so I'm like, why do you need to bring real life issues into this movie?
You know what's gonna happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's been nice all this time, and then comes the mask mandates. So he has to put on a leather face again.
Well, there you go.
And then it brings back memories, and he goes on a chainsaw massacre.
Yeah, I don't know.
How's that for a good plot?
This doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. It's Leatherface. Like I said, it's like saying that Michael Myers gives up butchering people for the cloth. It doesn't make any sense to his character. It really doesn't.
No.
Like Jason goes to heaven instead of to hell. I mean, it doesn't make any sense for his character. So, okay, there's not much new in that article, but that's the Leatherface information. Like, there's really no trailer now, so I can't say this movie at all looks good or not, despite this not making any sense at all. I might give it a chance as it's going to be on Netflix and it's going to come out in February 2022, but I'm not going to really make that final decision until I see a trailer. And then I'll know at that point just about for sure whether or not I'm going to sit down and watch it. So we'll see. But I don't have much hope for it. I don't have much hope for it because it's Netflix. They don't have the best track record when it comes to some adaptations, some movies they do. They do make good stuff occasionally.
Yeah, handling existing IPs is not something they tend to do well.
No, not really. No, they did a decent job with The Witcher, but I'm waiting to see what season 2.
Far.
Yeah, so far, but I'm waiting to see what season 2 gives us, and they don't really have any control over Cobra Kai. So
yeah,
but existing IPs, yeah, they don't really have a good track record.
No, I guess Daredevil was one they did well.
Like, yeah, I'm saying they do, on rare occasions, have good content that they themselves do, but it's few and far between.
There's a reason why South Park did a jab at Netflix a few years ago. They're like, Cartman was coming up with shit ideas, and the Netflix CEOs were just, "Oh, this is brilliant. Let's make it."
Yeah.
And it all started with Adam Sandler plays a retard, and then blah blah blah. They're like, every time they thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, but there's that. So we are down to the last topic, ladies and gentlemen, and we also have 2 articles for that. Let me just close these tabs for Leatherface.
Yeah, and I have found a lot of stuff, so I could really rip into this.
Yeah. So.
because this is so bad. The Wheel of Time stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is, in my opinion, at least just as bad as what they did with the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
And that is bad.
Yeah.
Hey, Steven. Good to see you. So, since we have two articles, like they're both for the same topic, but there's like, do you want to cover the one where about the actor saying that stupid thing about his character not being a hero, or the showrunner?
I'll roll a dice.
All right. Yeah.
Actor first.
The actor, okay. Yeah, the Massacre 3D, which if you think about like you don't really have to do much thinking with that movie, because if you look at like when it's set and the age of the characters, you're like, that doesn't work. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So yeah, they kind of made him a good guy at the end. So yeah, so they tried to make him a good guy in that one. Saw how well that worked. So but yeah, the actors. Let me open up that link because I have it. All right, so let me go back to StreamYard, share screen. All right, close this stupid ad. The Wheel of Time actor Joshua Stradowski says he doesn't see Rand al'Thor as a hero. Now, who is Rand al'Thor? Because I'm, for those who don't know,
the main character, the Dragon Reborn.
Not a hero.
Yeah, the guy who gets injured early on and has a wound that won't heal, so he's constantly bleeding from it. He's constantly having to sacrifice all through the story. He takes it. He's hurt personally and emotionally every time a female warrior dies on his watch. That actually plagues him all through the story. And he is supposed to sacrifice his life to win. And he keeps pushing through, knowing that is what's going to happen.
But not a hero.
Yeah, but not a hero. I mean, that there has to be, the carbon copy of a hero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're doing something that you know is going to kill you.
Yeah. Can't believe they actually went on to mention phenotypic traits of the, how do you pronounce that word? Aiel. All right, so I'm not watching the show, so I'm going off of what like Stieg and those who are watching it or know the information. So, all right, so
this book series, I probably read about 600 fantasy books in my days. Lord of the Rings being the best one still. This is the closest anyone has ever gotten to the Lord of the Rings. And yeah, I would not say that lightly, but he is up there with Tolkien.
This brew says Rand al'Thor is peak masculine hero. No matter what happens to him, he sucks it up and moves on.
Yeah.
All right, so
and he also needs to be saved all the time, like Luke Skywalker was. And he also loses a hand, by the way. He becomes a sword master and loses his right hand. Okay. Sacrifice. It gets blown off by a woman, actually.
The Wheel of Time actor Joshua Stradowski claimed that he doesn't see the character he plays in Amazon's adaptation of Robert Jordan's book as a hero. In fact, he claims he doesn't like him being described as a hero. Oh, do tell. Stradowski's comments regarding his character Rand al'Thor came in a promotional video for the series provided to IGN that sees a number of the actors discussing their characters. I'm not going to play that. The actor begins by describing Rand, saying, well, he's just a sheep herder. He's a farmer boy, and he's in lead of the sheep. He takes care of the sheep with his father.
Yes, which is true. And then it goes to hell. He leaves the farm because he has to, because the whole village is in danger. Look, heroics, right? He's leaving his home so he doesn't put everyone in danger.
He follows his heart often, and he makes decisions very impulsively, so I guess other people would call him stubborn, but I would say he's very loving and afraid. He's many things. Do these people not know how to speak as well? Stradowski then claimed he doesn't see Rand al'Thor as a hero. He explained, I don't see him as a hero. I know I try to approach him in a very human way, you know. Well, so heroes aren't human?
Yeah, he is a very human hero in the books. Absolutely is.
In my book, it says Rand, hero, which I don't really like. I just want him to be, at first he's just a sheep herder. He's from the Two Rivers, he asserted. In Robert Jordan's The Eye of the World, Rand is indeed a sheep herder before the wheel weaves him into a much larger player after he is attacked by Trollocs and begins a journey to the White Tower of Tar Valon with Moraine Damodred. Jordan clearly writes when describing Tam and Rand's house in the book, house, barn, and stone sheep pen formed the point of a triangle around the farmyard, where a few chickens had ventured out to scratch at the cold ground. An open shearing shed and a stone dipping trough stood next to the sheep pen. He further added, when Rand took a look in the stone pen, the heavy-horned herd ram looked back at him, but most of the black-faced flock remained placidly where they lay, or stood with their heads in the feed trough. Their coats were thick and curly, but it was still too cold for shearing. In Amazon's adaptation of Jordan's books, there is a brief scene where Tam and Rand walked past their sheep pen, showing that Rand is indeed a sheep herder, but the show does not actually show Rand doing any sheep herding. As for Stradowski claiming that he doesn't like seeing Rand as a hero, it makes sense given the show and books do not begin with Rand being a hero. He still has a long journey and many trials and tribulations before he can be called that.
Well, yeah, but he still does heroics right from the get-go. I mean, I'm not sure if this is in the show, but in the book, his dad gets injured when they get attacked in the barn by a Trolloc. And Rand drags his dad all through the night to find a healer. And there's wolves in the areas and all that. And I call that pretty heroic, dragging someone through a forest all through an icy cold night, you know, just to save your dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's
showing heroics from the get-go.
Maybe not hero, but heroic nature to his character. Yeah, so still be a hero in a sense. So
yeah, he's the hero of the story. He's supposed to save the world.
At the beginning of the story, Rand is still largely ignorant of the world outside of Emond's Field and the Two Rivers,
which is weird given that it's so diverse in the show.
Yeah. He's ignorant of the real threat of the Dark One. He doesn't really know anything about the Forsaken, let alone the dragon, also known as Luz Thurin Telamon.
Yeah, which is him in the previous life, basically.
Okay.
Dragon keeps getting reborn, right?
Hence the Dragon Reborn. So.
Yep.
However, Rand does indeed become the hero in the books, along with many others such as Perrin, Mat, Egwene, Nynaeve. Okay.
No, Nynaeve.
Nynaeve. Okay, Lan, Moraine,
Swan.
Okay, Elaine, Min, and Avinda.
That one is spelled wrong, actually. It's supposed to be Avienda.
Avienda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shield Maiden, kind of. Warrior babe.
Hopefully, Stradowski will indeed describe Rand as a hero and like it as the story progresses on the show, but that's if the show actually remains somewhat faithful to Jordan's book, something it hasn't really shown it will do based on the first handful of episodes that have been released so far.
Yeah, so far it has not been. It hasn't had anything to do with the books really, except for the names.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, everything has changed, and every change will have a ripple effect, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what the problem is with the word hero. Maybe because he's like a male and like you can't have positive masculinity even in heroic nature. So
yeah.
But what do you make of his comments? So that's the end of the article. That article.
Well, he obviously hasn't read the books as far as I can tell, or he didn't understand them. He's probably read the script for the show and it's going off of that. Yeah. Which seems to be what the actress had done too.
Yeah, like say you don't know what the show, like what the show is based on, without saying you don't know what the show is based on. So,
yeah, he knows the script for the show, but not the source material. You know.
So far as Wheel of Thrones, we're 5 episodes in and nothing's happened. Yeah.
Nope.
It's both rushed and too slow, which is actually quite boring. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm gonna
yeah. This
stop.
don't give them the money for this. Really don't, because this is Brandon Sanderson, who finished the work for Robert Jordan when he passed away. He did a statement saying that the end of this season will be very controversial among the fans, which, that's a warning. That was kind of like what Mark Hamill did with episode 8. Remember, it's just a movie, and stuff like that.
Good night, Joshy. Hey, sorry. Hey, Phil. Hey, Mara, looking great, and the badass Kenobi. Yes. So we are on the last article.
First time someone has called me a badass, I think, but thank you.
Yeah. The Wheel of Time showrunner Rafe Judkins explains why the show claims females can be the Dragon Reborn.
Hang on. This is where I'm going to rip into it right off the bat. The prophecy that is at the heart of the story. It's mentioned in every books. Let's see how it goes. It goes. This is the relevant stuff, and this is what the the female Aes Sedai, which is a sorceresses that are looking for him. This is what they're going for, or basing it on. It says, "On the slopes of Dragonmount shall he be born of a maiden wedded to no man," which is basically a shield maiden, right? They're not allowed to have husbands. He will be of the ancient blood raised by the old blood. The ancient blood is found in the 2 rivers. That's why Moraine goes there looking for him. And blah, blah, blah. He's, defeat the shadow, what have you. She also, Moraine, played by Rosamund Pike, she witnesses something called a foretelling from another sorceress. She and Swan sees this way back in the day. And it says, "He is born again. I feel him. The dragon takes his first breath on the slope of Dragonmount. He's coming. Light, help us. He's coming." Blah, blah, blah. She says this when he's born. She gets like a foretelling, prophecy shit happening in front of their faces. They know it's a boy. It's literally her whole background and character motivation for the story. She's been looking for him since then. And he's, till he's 20 or something. So for 20 years. And she makes a pact with Swan that it says, they make a pact soon after. They will find the dragon and guide him, knowing that he was the only one who could save the world from the Dark One, but that others would fear him and try to hinder him, if not kill him outright. So they're looking for him to keep him safe. And they've been looking for him for 20 years to keep him safe so he can save the world.
Okay.
So if the showrunner says it can be a female, he doesn't understand a damn thing about
let's see what he says. Yeah. So
because this is basically Frodo taking the ring to Mount Doom.
Yeah. Let's see what he says. Amazon's Wheel of Time showrunner Rafe Judkins recently explained why the show claims females can be the Dragon Reborn. In the show's opening episode, Moraine Demodred, played by Rosamund Pike, states, "Now this man has been born again. We don't know where or to whom, if he was reborn as a girl or a boy."
They know that because it was literally in the books. He is born. They knew it when and where, and they knew it was a boy.
The only thing we know for certain is that the child is coming of age now, and we must find them before the dark does. However, in the original books by Robert Jordan, it's clear that the Dragon Reborn is a male character, and the 3 persons of interest for Moraine Demodred, as she investigates Emond's Field, are Rand, Matt, and Perrin.
Yeah, and Rand stands out because he's red-headed. It looks like an Aiel, which is the Shield Maidens and all that.
Not only are they persons of interest for Moraine, but they are also specifically targeted by the Myrddraal.
Yeah, Myrddraal.
And his band of Trollocs.
Yep.
Moraine tells Rand in the Eye of the World it was you three the Murderall sought and none others.
Yep.
She would later add, in one of you or all three, there is something the Dark One fears.
Yep.
Even before this, Jordan makes it clear that the dragon is a male because everyone claiming to be the Dragon Reborn is a male. He writes, Rand could remember every tale he had heard about the men who named themselves the Dragon Reborn, as they had all proven themselves false dragons by dying or disappearing without fulfilling any of the prophecies. What they had done was bad enough.
Also, the extra bit that's tied to the plot is the Dragon Reborn is a man who can channel, basically use magic.
Mm-hmm.
The male half of the magic in this world is tainted by the Dark One. It drives them mad. So males get driven mad by using magic, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And he's one of them. And he still does it, knowing he's going to turn mad.
There you go.
Heroics.
Nevertheless, the show claims the Dragon Reborn can be a female as well, and showrunner Rafe Judkins attempted to explain the change from the books in a recent Ask Me Anything on the television subreddit on Reddit. Judkins stated, the change we made was not just with the fact that a woman could be the dragon. The core change we made was that people are not 100% convinced that these 3,000-year-old prophecies are 100% accurate.
They have an 18-year-old prophecy right there in the books. In front of Moraine's face. It's very accurate.
Hey, Keely. Says FNT Raid. Hello. Good to see you. Trey, I love Trey. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
pretty much. He continued, I think it feels a little bit more true to the world, and you see the characters questioning the prophecies of the dragon and the details of it much more in the show than in the books, although there are some scenes in the books that show this as well. We've just expanded on that. Why does it have to be true to the world, which I'm assuming is this world, not the world that you're talking about from the books?
Here's the thing. The prophecies in the books and the foretellings are pretty much always considered to be 100% accurate, but it's how you interpret them, right? But they never question the, if they're fake or not. It's just, especially the Aes Sedai, which is the female sorceresses, they consider them to be spot on.
Yeah,
because they always are in some form or another. So they would not question it. They would question how they will spin out, what they could mean and blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
Okay. It seems quite trusting for the, is that Aes?
Aes Sedai.
Aes Sedai. Okay. Who trusts no one, especially Moraine, who trusts less than no one, to believe with 100% certainty anything that was written thousands of years ago.
She believed it so much that she made a pact with another one on the spot when the prophecy happened and dedicated her life to it.
So, hey, Metalong. Sorry.
So this showrunner he's choosing to be retarded.
Yeah,
this is actually butchering the story.
No, they didn't stay true, Tina. They did not stay true. So
they didn't even try.
So here's like the post. I'm not going to click on that. Judkins was also address other changes made from the book, as well as his philosophy regarding adaptations. Speaking generally about adaptations, Judkins said, "You can never make something like that's like most of them pictured it. That's the beauty of books."
The Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I mean, Peter Jackson proved you can.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of books. We all have our own personal vision of it in our heads, and it gets broken down a bit by watching it adapted. Okay, to play devil's advocate, I get what he's saying there, but at the same time, you can do that. Peter Jackson proved it. You can do that. He literally recreated Middle Earth on the screen when he filmed in New Zealand.
Yeah, and he used the artwork as a basis for how stuff would look, because that's what the fans would recognize.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he's choosing. I think he was born that way. Yeah. I really have no hope for the Lord of the Rings show. I really don't.
Yeah. Don't give them your money. Simple as that.
Well, technically, Amazon already has it because I have an Amazon Prime account. They just won't get my time.
Yeah.
Why are these stupid ads? Fucking hell. I can't see because that fucking ad is covering it. Okay. He added for me, though I prefer an adaptation that tries to utilize its medium to tell the story best. Like I prefer Azkaban to the first couple of Potters. What? The
So
first couple Harry Potter movies.
to
So
tell the story the best, then why the hell did he throw the story out the window then?
I know. I mean, I generally prefer Prisoner of Azkaban to the first two movies, but at the same time, it's like they didn't throw out the source material when they made that movie.
No.
Like you're doing with Wheel of Time. So they actually showed that you can take the source material and adapt it to the medium of film.
And like Lady Gravemaster told me, $10 million per episode for this.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence about watching the adapted film of Ender's Game. I love the book though. I never read the book. When Ender's Game, I guess was getting decent reviews, but at the same time, like I said, I wouldn't know if it's accurate or not to the book. So, Judkins would also address why he did not include the Eye of the World's original prologue that tells of the end of days of Luz Theron Telamon, his descent into madness, his massacre of his family, and his creation of Dragonmount by killing himself with the One Power. He wrote,
"Yeah, this is also something Rand lives with because he starts getting flashbacks of that in his head.
Mm-hmm.
So he technically lives with himself having killed his own family back in the day, even though he didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fucking him up too. But he's not a hero, right?
Yeah, I know. He wrote, we had a lot of different versions of how to start the show always, but my personal opinion was that we shouldn't really see this cold open until Luz Theron was ready to play a more significant role in the show."
Well, he's not going to play any role in the show because Luz Theron is just in Rand's head.
Mm-hmm.
He's like hearing a voice now and again. So how are you going to do that in the show?
I don't know. Judkins would also provide a lengthier explanation as to why he made Perrin a married man in the show, as well as having Perrin killing his wife in the heat of battle with Trollocs.
Which is also ridiculous because when Perrin's whole storyline is ruined right there. Later on, he actually falls in love and has sex with a woman for the first time because that's the one he chooses. And he's loyal to her all through the story. You have a very good love story in there, which is now, and later on he loses his parents. I'm told he lost his parents in the first episode of the show. So you have 5 books of development just ripped away right there. It's actually a big deal when he first kills someone in the books.
Because the boys were 18 when they left the village.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. Judkins previously told The Hollywood Reporter, "For this character that's extremely internal, you really never get to hear his internal monologue that out loud in the book. We give him a moment at the beginning of the series where you understand why he, across the course of the series, has such a struggle with violence." All right, so there's the actor who plays Perrin, who I'm guessing is race swapped.
Yeah, Robert Jordan said Perrin looks like a young Val Kilmer. And that's kind of what it looks like on the old book covers, too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, in this Reddit AMA, he further explained, "Well, firstly, in the longer version of the script, I'd had Perrin being the apprentice to the town blacksmith, who he then accidentally killed during the Trolloc attack. It really was important to me that he have an iconic moment of violence in the first episode that would underpin his long-term journey with violence and whether he'd choose the axe or the hammer. So I'd made the blacksmith his mom." What?
Yeah. The blacksmith is called Maester Luhan, I think. He's one of the people that kind of helps him when he returns to defend the village in book 5 because he knows Perrin is honorable and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So all that is cut away. It's gone. it's like if his story was Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
right? They made, well, let's say Perrin is Luke Skywalker,
Mm-hmm.
and the way they're doing it, they're starting his story at the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
So
All
a
right.
lot of stuff missing.
His journey with the violence starts with the fact that he realizes he would kill a woman to save her from from what horror was about to happen to her if caught. It ruins that if you have him murder someone. Yeah. He continued, but as we had to trim a bunch of page length down in the scripts, it became a simpler story to tell it as his wife, and also felt natural that if these characters were in their early 20s in a small mountain village, that one of them likely would be married. Well, Gadfly pointed out that they're 18 when they leave the village.
No, they're not married.
No, I'm
Robert
saying
Rogen,
but they're not in their 20s either. So
no, but that's actually
I pretty much did Galford's talk.
that's actually a thing, because one of them is kind of slightly engaged to one of the women. That's been torn away too.
Mm-hmm. There's a scene in the books where Perrin talks about if he'd stayed in the Two Rivers, he might have married Layla Dearn, and
Who
voila,
isn't
Layla was
who,
born.
who isn't even in the she isn't even in the books.
He says she isn't even in the books.
No, she's not in the books.
So what's he referring to here? Like that? Like there's like what? He's saying there's a
Uh,
scene in the books. I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying like
there might be a character in the Two Rivers named that, but I don't remember her. Certainly a tiny background character for sure.
Mm-hmm. He says voila, Layla was born. Well, Layla, if she was a character, she's already born. So it's like it's not like
Yeah.
I
And
think like he meant like born as his wife or something. I don't know. But my only sadness is we couldn't have seen more of her. Helena Westerman, who played her, was amazing.
here's the thing: Perrin learns to talk to wolves through wolf dreams and shit, and he can lead wolf armies. The reason why Perrin only sleeps with one woman in the book,
Mm-hmm.
or in the story, is because wolves mate for life. Symbolic,
Yeah.
wolf stuff.
Yeah.
So
My thing is,
that's gone too.
yeah, if you're going to, why adapt it if you're then going to change it? Yes.
Yeah.
So, Judkins would also address some general criticisms of the show regarding its pacing and lack of characterization. He said, I think it's always important to hear people as they take in the show and comment on it, but not be chasing approval. Well, you kind of do if you're adapting source material from a already existing franchise and fan base.
Yeah.
You do need the approval of the existing fan base.
If if you don't, you wouldn't have even have had a show to make.
Mm-hmm. If you try to make a show that everyone likes, no, just how about everyone in that loves it?
Yeah, the people
You'll
who
have an
bought and
actual
read the
pile of
books.
trash at the end, which is your show apparently. So better to make a show that some people truly love, even if others think it's a pile of trash. He elaborated. So some
Yeah.
people, meaning like the ones you're pandering to.
Yeah, easy to say when you're not spending your own money, right?
Yeah. The showrunner then said, in terms of pacing, it's a balance you have to strike. We as creatives are always wanting more time to intro the characters, spend time with them to understand their emotions, etc. And the network will want the show to be brisk and pacey so that no one ever has a chance to turn it off. Both things are valuable, and maybe Amazon was right about pace, as the first 3 episodes of Wheel of Time have one of their highest completion rates in history, which is perhaps the most important single piece of data on TV show today. But I'm wondering how past its first 3 episodes.
Oh, it's because they made a whole series, so it's just...
So I'm wondering, like, past that, how's it going to do? What do you make of Judkins' explanation about the possibility of Dragon Reborn being a female, things like that? So,
yeah, there's even prophecies about women being just as big as heroes as Rand, and they're supposed to help them. So you have kind of feminism right there.
mm-hmm.
The women help out too. Just as much as the guys do.
Off. Yeah. So
yeah. I mean, uh, if you want diversity in a fantasy story,
Mm-hmm.
this already had it on so many levels. The female characters are awesome. There's a bunch of them that have their own chapters. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same as the male characters. I mean, Egwene is vital to the story, and so is Nynaeve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the whole damn thing would have failed without them.
See, the thing is that these people don't get is that just because they're not like the central character does not mean they're not important. For
Yeah,
example,
but
Gollum in Lord of the Rings, he's to an extent, I would argue, not a central character. At least he doesn't become a central character until you like really see him in the second book and so forth.
in
However, he still had importance.
in this case, though, it's more a case of all of the female villains. Sorry, the female characters are basically Sam in the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
They're on that level, you know, and I think Egwene has more chapters than Perrin and Matt. I think anyway, at least just as many. So, and I think Nynaeve does too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
he
so,
certainly was a glorified crackhead.
so this is nuts. I don't think he
Yeah.
read the book, the books at all. I think he just read the Wikipedia synopsis of it,
Probably.
and yeah, Cena was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Cena. I thought it was better than Hercules.
But there were no badass female characters before
Yeah,
2016, apparently. So
yeah. This well, these books had them since the 90s, and it's yeah. This is you know what? Yeah, it's this is painful. It really is painful. It's like they imagine if they did this to the Lord of the Rings and went,
well, that
yeah,
well, just judging from a reading, they are doing it to Lord of the Rings because it's
yeah,
like the video I covered where the actor was saying about how they're going to have brown and black hobbits because they would take that one little blurb
yeah. Well,
about them, and I'm like describing them as dark skinned. I'm like, well, no, it doesn't mean that they're like black or brown. It just means they are of darker skin, like tan.
yeah.
Tan is
It,
darker skin.
in this case, it would be as if Gandalf arrives in Hobbiton, not knowing about the One Ring, and thinking Rosie Cotton is all of a sudden going to be the ring bearer for the ring he just realized was there.
Okay, well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really stupid.
Yeah, it actually is that stupid, and I think the McCabe brothers in the chat will agree with me on that. And Lady Greymaster certainly ripped into it, and
Mhm.
she and I will probably get derailed on Monday when we're talking about the book series and rip into the show. I can guarantee
Gandalf
you
the
that.
Black will be interesting. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, no
Gandalf the
franchise is safe
Brown.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's the Wheel of Time. So that is we're coming up on 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the last topic that I had for this evening. Hold on, there was another one that wasn't a cringe one, but I gotta find it because I just got a kick out of it. I think it was on CBR.com. I can't remember what it was. I gotta find it. And I thought, oh, I might as well just like at least have a good chuckle at this, but is it here? Sorry, I gotta find this because I was like looking through a bunch of stuff. Oh, here it is. All right, yeah, this is it. And considering that I think Steph is playing Animal Crossing now, this is gonna, this is like not this is not like cringe. It's just like a good laugh to end on. Animal Crossing fans confused as naked villages run rampant. Animal
Really?
Crossing New Horizons players are confused by a new glitch in Happy Home Paradise that causes villages to unexpectedly ditch their clothes. So there it is. So we might see Steph's character run around naked in New Horizons. I'm just like, if that happens, I just want to see the expression on her face. A new glitch is causing a great deal of hilarity and confusion among players as villagers are appearing without clothes. As reported by Eurogamer, players have been posting images of their villagers walking around in the nude since the launch of the paid expansion Happy Home Paradise. The first example of the glitch was seemingly posted to the game's Reddit in early November. So I don't know if we want to put it on the live stream, but I figured I saw Steph was streaming it. So now we have that glitch where they walk around naked.
She's not streaming, she's streaking.
Yeah, she's streaking. She'll be streaking.
Yeah.
I think they mean villagers basically, but basically that's the glitch. Is that they will be without clothes. And this was like, finally I have a reason to play. Yes. Like sexy time. Yes. So there is that. So if you were all looking for any reason to play Animal Crossing, purchase it and then get the expansion pack Happy Home Paradise. Fingers crossed for the glitch that you will walk around, your character will walk around in the nude. So I saw that article earlier and I was like, this is like just hilarious. I got to end on this. But yeah, but I told Steph, Wheel of Time is the line in the sand. I'm not going to cross. Like don't bother asking me to get it. Don't bother asking me to get me to try to play it. I'm not going to. Hey, Damaj and I, sorry you're coming in at the tail end of the stream, but hope you enjoyed the replay. But yeah, so yeah, she's trying to get me to get Animal Crossing, and I told her no. I pretty much told her no. So yeah, can't even rob people. I mean, like, I'm sorry, I love Steph, but the only enjoyment I find in it is the comments I make. Because I'm like, basically, rob Tammy, take her shit, like beat up this character, things like that. Because I'm watching this game and going, this is a game for 8-year-olds.
Also, a little bit of good news.
Mm-hmm.
There's an add-on for YouTube now that lets you show the dislikes.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. This is her Twitch and this is my Twitch. I stream a variety of games, or I try to stream a variety of games. I'm not streaming just one type of game. So, but yeah. So for me, I do have Nintendo games because I got into Switch to be able to play with Steph. But I play Splitgate. I just finished Resident Evil 7. I might change. I might go to Call of Duty Vanguard for Thursdays in the meantime. Yeah, but I play a variety of games. I don't like. I guess like this might sound elitist, but what irks me is people who call themselves gamers and only play shit like Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart and what's this called? The other one that people play. The shooter thing where they build staircases. Fortnite.
Oh, Fortnite. Yeah, like games like that. I don't care if you play those games, but what like basically makes my eye twitch is when they call themselves gamers. Like, you're not a gamer. That's not a game. That's not like the game where you would call yourself a gamer. You're just playing a game. So
yeah.
That's where I guess my kind of elitist attitude is. It's not that they play the games, it's that mentality where like, oh, I'm a gamer. No, you're not.
Oh, want to hear something fun?
Mm-hmm.
There's a Wheel of Time game. It's actually damn good, in my opinion. Guess what? Female protagonist, and it plays like a first-person shooter.
Okay.
Yeah. Even the only Wheel of Time game has a female lead too.
Yeah, yes. Oh, I might. Is that like through console or PC?
What?
The game, the Wheel of Time game, is that through?
It's PC. It's from back in the day.
Okay, so I'd have to get a gaming PC. Yeah, I'm a gamer in Ralph Wiggum's voice. Yeah, pretty much. Jumanji says I'm playing Nier, trying to play Final Fantasy 14, but early access is full as fuck. Yeah, so like Nier, would I say would be like a gamer game essentially. It kind of takes skill.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, I know there's different levels of skill and so forth, but at the same time, when you have a game where all you have to do is like Mario Kart, stay on the track or whatever, it's not exactly entirely skill based. But when you play a game like Nier, when you play a game like Witcher, when you play games that require you to remember like multiple combos, what buttons, like different buttons, like more than 3 buttons or 4 and things like that.
Basically, pay attention.
Actually pay attention. Like even Resident Evil 7, like pay attention. Like, okay, I went here. This is not where I need to go. Where these are the objectives. I had to remember the objectives and things like that. Actual, things like that. Then yeah, that's skill. Final Fantasy games, skill. So
seems the Wheel of Time game is from 1999. Well, time flies. It's one of the early 3D shooters, but you know what? It probably has the best atmosphere I've ever seen in any shooter games.
I did I did a video on this not too long ago where they came out with that like study and how women are have now surpassed men and like population of gamers, and they were including shit like Candy Crush. I'm like saying you're not a fucking gamer. Like I might as well put Angry Birds on my phone and call myself a gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what?
You're a gamer when you have notepads filled with maps and passcodes for a game. Yeah. So
I know a lot of women that are gamers.
Witcher 3 is great,
and they're actual gamers. You know, I have a friend that loves the Leisure Suit Larry games to death, and those are unforgiving games. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm like, again, like just to kind of reemphasize, I don't care if you play the games. More power to you. Like, pick what you want to play and find enjoyment in what you want to play. Just it irks me when they call themselves gamers. Like they're in the gamer demographic, and I'm like, you're not.
No, it's basically like
my dad calls us a gamer, plays Angry Birds.
It's like you enjoy kicking a ball, and that doesn't make you a soccer player, does it?
Yeah. So no, it doesn't make. Yeah, I'm saying like again, don't care. Just yeah. So but at least like Disparu, you play like Warzone and Call of Duty and shit like that, and Halo. So it's like. Fire Emblem games are really unforgiving. Speaking of Fire Emblem, and also speaking of Twitch, Lethal Lightning is playing Fire Emblem 3 Houses currently on his Twitch channel. Let me hold on. Let me put that in. I click on his Twitch channel and put that in. So if you enjoy watching those games, God, I follow so many people. Let me copy that and close that so you don't hear. This is his Twitch channel. Yeah, so you say Fire Emblem games are really unforgiving, and he has permadeath on pretty much. So basically, if you lose a character, you lose it you've lost the character in that game. So, but yeah, follow him on Twitch if you want to see him go through 3 houses. So. But yeah, so like I said, I'm like basically wrapping up. We've been going for a little over 2 hours talking about Wheel of Time, talking about Seth Rogen, talking about Nintendo, and talking about Leatherface and how he's trying to be a good guy these years. So yeah. $2 super chat from Damage Knight. Gamers have calluses on thumbs from Hedokens. Yeah. Basically, here, hold on. Make it my. Hold on.
Hadoukens.
Hey,
I knew. I shouldn't have known that.
But, all right.
Because that's some anime shit, and I knew it.
When you're playing a game like Mario Kart, where all you have to remember is put your finger here for the tossing whatever it is you get on the box, A to drive, and this to steer, and or whatever. It's not really a big combo. But then you have a PlayStation 5 where you have to go directional pad, center button, to bring up the objectives, the combos of these buttons, R2, R1, R3, L3, things like that. You have to fucking remember a lot of buttons.
Yep.
So.
especially in fighting games. Really, it's not a genre I like that much. But holy crap, you need to know a lot of that to be good at it.
Oh yeah. Like Mortal Kombat, especially. Like, I have Mortal Kombat 11, and like from the get go, they're teaching you all the combos. I'm like, holy fucking shit! I'm just gonna button spam and hope I get a combo at this point because I can't remember all that.
Yeah.
But it was a lot, and it's like specific to like what move you want to do, especially and the finishing moves included. So it's like,
Well, did you ever play the old X-Wing games?
not the X-Wing games. No,
Yeah.
I played more of like the story based ones. I mean, when I say story based, I mean like Knights of the Old Republic and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
But the X-Wing games, you had to use a joystick plus almost the whole keyboard.
Yeah.
You had one button for increasing the shield or decreasing it. You could take power from the guns and transfer it to the shields. All kinds of stuff you could do.
Yeah, so there's that. So like that's my little diatribe again on the whole gaming thing, things like that. Well, I gotta check something real fast.
Too much hand holding in games now too.
Yeah, so that's my little diatribe. But anyway, Stieg Street Fighter is an anime initially.
Well, it's close enough. But you know what?
I'm trying to get him to watch Fate Zero.
Yeah. Hey, I got the thing, but it was just like a weird format for the episodes. So the players wouldn't play them.
So yeah, so once you're able to find a format that you can watch, then
Yeah,
I think you might enjoy it. It's Fate Zero. I think you might enjoy it because it's basically a combination of. It takes place in like the early to mid 90s, but it's like modern day for its setting, but it deals with magecraft and history and mythology and things like that. So
yeah. From what I understood, it's kind of like Highlander with more fantasy.
a bit, yeah. A bit, but it's I can't go into too much detail because a lot of it it will spoil a lot of it, but basically it centers around a Grail War, and 7 champions essentially are chosen, and each those are the mages, and each mage has an heroic spirit that's kind of like their champion in this Grail War, and the heroic spirit can either be a literal historic figure or legendary / mythology figure. So
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm gonna give it a chance.
Slash and Burn Theory for $10. Thank you so much. Nintendo's customer base has always been diverse. Instead of pushing diversity, push a new Star Fox game. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's a good
we
point.
just want good games.
Nintendo, yeah, the customer base is diverse as heck. You know,
Like pretty fuck. Just about every customer base is diverse in one way or another.
yeah.
In one way or another, but basically like diversity to these people. When I say these people, I mean like Twitter and things like that is only skin deep. So if they don't see a certain number of minorities to counteract or at least or overtake outright the white demographic, it's not diverse enough.
Yeah, and then they're like, it's a crime if more white people play a game than whatever else. It's like, who the hell cares?
Yeah, no one who understands that we're living in like normal reality, who have no issues with this whatsoever for decades, no one cares because it's not important. But to these people, it is because nothing existed prior to 2016 in terms of diversity. So
Yeah, I mean, some of the consoles sell better in Asian countries, which are extremely populated, right? So, is that
I'll try
racist?
giving it a chance down Blackroyd. Yeah. Sorry, animes, but yeah. So like, but there's that. So. Well, we're coming up now on 2 hours and 15 minutes. So while I close these at least one tab because I want to tag Seth on this Animal Crossing one for Twitter.
Also, Citizen Ronan says, Bring back Leisure Suit Larry. I agree. Make Larry come again.
Let everybody know where they can find you and all that fun stuff. I'm going to mute myself while I bring up the commercial because you might hear it through my microphone. So
Yeah. Monday on Miss Morton Muses' channel, she and I and Lady Greymaster will be ripping into the Wheel of Time and also explaining what the Wheel of Time actually is, the story and what have you. So that's going to be fun. So tune in for that. And I don't know the time, so Miss Morton will have to put it in the chat for you guys. But
yeah, because I asked him earlier and he was like, Monday.
I said, no.
So yeah, if Teresa, if you can put the time in the chat, that would be great. So anybody who wants to partake, 7 p.m. Central, so 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Monday. I will not be able to watch it because I generally stream around 8 p.m. But go check that out if you are at all interested in Wheel of Time and watching these three, Lady Gravemaster, Stieg, and Teresa rip into Amazon's Wheel of Time. So yeah, it's like so many streams nowadays. Yeah, so
yeah, I know. You know what? Ever since I started being on YouTube, and you probably remember this, Mara, because I wasn't even supposed to be on.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually dragged on I think it was Craig's channel.
Whose channel?
Craig.
Oh yeah, Craig.
Yeah, they dragged me on from the chat, and after that, I just got tossed between YouTube channels because I couldn't say no.
Mm-hmm.
It was only supposed to be a one-time thing. Here I am, 3 years later.
So there you go. There you go. And yes, my background is Black Lagoon. It has multiple characters on it, and up in the corner, that's Revy, the Revy Chibi. Because Revy, I love Revy. I think like if I were to be an anime character, or at least one anime character, it would be Revy. So yeah, and I even have a Revy cosplay. And kind of speaking of cosplay, I gotta figure out how to do this because I don't like giving the impression I have my hand out, so to speak. But I would like to do more cosplay streams and so forth, to include possibly setting up a Patreon and like posting my cosplays on there. But to be able to do so, I have to be able to afford cosplays. And to be able to afford cosplays, I kind of have to put my hand out and kind of ask for some sort of donation. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. But that's my goal in the near future, is to get back into that and do a lot more in regards to with cosplay. Like right now I just have Revy, but I'd like to be Yennefer from The Witcher. I would like to dress like some DC characters like Poison Ivy and so forth. I've been watching Lethal play Fire Emblem, and I've found Fire Emblem cosplays as well as Fate Zero cosplays and so forth. So I'd like to, like I said, kind of reignite that passion within me. But to do so, like I said, I kind of need to figure out how I'm going to do it, whether it's going to be Indiegogo or not. But like, kind of can't do it without putting my proverbial hand out and asking for like a donation of some kind. So
you could do Lydia from Skyrim, and
I'd have to look that character up because I'm probably going to give a lot of people heart attacks. I've never played Skyrim.
Oh, and probably if you dye your hair red Sonia.
Actually,
don't have to be the chainmail bikini though. But yeah. Let's see. Revy is a badass. You know what, guys, in the chat, Mara told me to start watching Black Lagoon, and I did. I'm 2 episodes in. So let it be known that I actually give things a chance. I need to continue watching it, though.
Yeah, so this is not the Revy wig, but at some point I'm actually considering... I did dye my hair red at one point, but it wasn't this shade of red. But I think this shade looks good on me because it's kind of like a burgundy, like a dark auburn color.
Yeah.
So I actually am considering, like, not permanently, but at some point going back and actually dyeing my hair this color. So yeah. But yeah, so like that's what like I would like to do, because I used to do that, had to get rid of a bunch of stuff, and now I want to get back into it. So I'm gonna figure that out. But yeah, Soul Assassin's keen. It's like cosplay calendar. Maybe I might do my own. I mean, not trying to necessarily copy off that Star Wars girl, but like I said, I do want to like do streams at least with it. But to do so, kind of need people to donate. So I might do an Indiegogo. I don't know, but until then, again, handout. I do have a Twitch. You can send bits and gift subs there, and you can also super chat on YouTube. So there's that. So
You could probably also, if with red hair, you could probably do a Scarlet from G.I. Joe.
Scarlet's, yeah, G.I. Joe. I don't have a Wonder Woman necessarily cosplay, but I have a Wonder Woman costume I can do. I have Zatanna. I could do that.
That
so
one's
like,
probably
there's a lot I want to do. So
that one's probably easy to do as well.
Mhm.
Because you need a top hat and whatever. It's stuff that's easy to get.
Oh yeah, it's easy to get, but what makes it expensive? My phone just went off. What makes it expensive is if you have to do a custom size fitting.
Yeah.
And it's like not super expensive. Like, just to give an example here, I'll just like real fast bring this up. I'll stop sharing the YouTube.
You could do Baywatch. Just run in slow motion.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. No. Like, just to give you an example, this is Dorothea, 5 years Dorothea time skip. This is her outfit.
Yeah, this is probably
as is the size that I would get, like, if as is size would be medium, but if I were to do custom, I'd have to add an extra $30 to it.
Yeah.
Plus you have the wig and like shoes and so forth. So just to give an example, I was also looking at Shamir. So yeah, so
maybe also nah, you'd do better as Yennefer. I was thinking Triss Marigold.
Here, I'll just do this. Hold on. Just to show you. I think I would be a better Yennefer. But this is the outfit I've been looking at. See how expensive this is?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the costume. Because I would have to add the wig, which is $20, and the boots, which are like almost 60.
Well,
see, that's what I'm looking at.
The wig, it's not that far from your natural hair color anyway.
No, but my hair's not that long either, so yeah, like that's what I'm looking at. See, but see, I'm saying, like, this is the reason why I kind of have to at least have initial help from everyone, just because, like, just the costume alone is $240, then you have that extra $30 for custom size. So Winston, God, Blake. All right, so that's like basically that's just an example of what I'm like, just to give you an example of what I would kind of be looking at doing. So
I'm gonna cosplay Winston as well.
Yeah, Belle. I mean, if I were to cosplay a Disney character, I probably would actually cosplay. There's no way I'd be able to easily do this, but it would be Ariel, because Ariel is my favorite. So, but anyway, let me share the commercial again. You went through where they could find you and everything, right? I think I was getting a wig at the time.
Teresa's channel, basically.
Yeah.
Also, there's a new disturbing video on my channel today.
Yeah, very. It's one of those where it's like you can't look away.
Yeah, and it's not a commercial. It's actually
it's like a news story in a sense.
Yeah. It was a thing, and it was so bizarre I had to have it on my channel. Simple as that.
Seth Soul Assassin. I'm a cosplay of Seth Rogen. Yeah. Yeah. So, do you mean sell or see? I don't know what you said.
Maybe sue.
So
So
last time I ever sewed anything was back in middle school. I mean, technically, I do fix holes and things like that in clothes or whatever. I can do that, but I'm nowhere near as talented as most people when it comes to actually making shit like this. So I can't.
You want some Steve Kenobi trivia? I have a sewing machine certificate.
You still have it? Do you have it framed and mounted on your wall?
No, it's in a drawer at my parents' place. But
Okay.
yeah, I can. I could use a sewing machine back in the day.
Well, so could I, but
So could I. Good pun.
I'd have to relearn it and like do like a real crash course in it because I can't do it at all. The best I could do is mend clothes right now, and that's it. I can't sew my own stuff, even though I know it's cheaper. And I get where you're coming from, Teresa, but I can't do it. So, but I can like mend stuff. Like I said, I can like if I get like a hole or it's like something needs to be sewn back on a shirt or whatever. I can do that, like hand stitch.
Yeah.
But doing something like what I showed with Yennefer, with Dorothea, and things like that, no way, nowhere near that level of skill. So, but again, thank you to everyone in the chat. That is the plan. So I'll figure out what to do, how I kind of can earn a little bit of money to be able to do that because it does take some time getting all that situated. Stig is incredibly domestic. You heard it here first. Yes.
Thank you. I make my own meals too from scratch. And you know what I saw on Twitter the other day? So a lady said that if a guy can cook, he should get BJ's every day. He's entitled to it. And I was like, yes, finally.
It's like finally I have a chance.
Vindicated.
But anyway, thank you to my co-host again. Thank you to everyone in the chat, like for participating. Thank you for the super chats from everyone. Much appreciated. You can find me tomorrow back on YouTube for Talk Nerdy to Us at 10 p.m. Eastern that I do with my nerdy home. Again, it's cringe like this, so we'll have more topics, I'm sure, to discuss. So if you liked seeing nerdy women talk about pop culture and ripping into the cringe, tune in for that, again, on my channel tomorrow evening, 10 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll be on Mark the Cyborg's channel with Litigation Jackson, aka KJ, talking about the last 3 episodes of Fate Stay Night. Unlimited Blade Works. So if you enjoy anime and if you've seen that anime or don't care about spoilers, tune in for that. It's on his channel at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then basically as normal of a video schedule as I can beginning next week because I wanted to take these 2 days to relax following the week I had of like getting a Shakespeare paper written. And then Twitch schedule. The only uncertainty will be Thursdays, only because I finished Resident Evil 7. But as of now, Mondays is Mario Kart, and I rage at that game. Tuesdays is Splitgate, and the rest of the week is kind of an up in the air. I have Vanguard. I have I can get more Resident Evil games if necessary, and so forth. I have Witcher 3 that I can go back to playing from the beginning if people want, because I kind of stopped because I have so many games I have to get through. We'll see, but that's basically whenever I stream on Twitch, it's generally around 8 p.m. Eastern, thereabouts, for the time being, until I actually have a break, like an actual holiday break between Christmas and New Year's, and then I might stream multiple times during the day, so look for that. So, again, thank you. Long-ass outro, but thank you for sticking around. I'm going to mute both Stieg and myself and play this commercial, and I will see you all tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Talk Nerdy to Us. So take care, everyone, and have fun.
This is so romantic.
Well, it's about to get a little bit more romantic. A little candlelight
Oh.
and a little Bud Light.
Ooh. Ooh.
Do you smell barbecue? Oh!
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.